Microeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of how individuals and businesses make decisions about how to use their limited resources. It is concerned with the behavior of economic agents, such as consumers, producers, and workers. Microeconomics also studies the interaction between these agents and how their decisions affect the prices of goods and services. Supply and demand. Supply refers to the amount of a good or service that producers are willing to sell at a given price. Demand refers to the amount of a good or service that consumers are willing to buy at a given price. The price of a good or service is determined by the interaction of supply and demand. If the supply of a good is greater than the demand, the price will fall. If the demand for a good is greater than the supply, the price will rise. For example, let's say that the supply of apples is 100 apples and the demand for apples is 120 apples. In this case, the price of apples will rise until the supply and demand are equal. Market equilibrium. Market equilibrium is the point at which the supply of a good or service equals the demand. At market equilibrium, the price of a good or service is at a level where both producers and consumers are satisfied. In the example above, market equilibrium would be reached when the price of apples is $1 per apple. At this price, producers are willing to sell all 100 apples that they have, and consumers are willing to buy all 120 apples that they want. Consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is the study of how consumers make decisions about what to buy and how much to spend. One of the most important concepts in consumer behavior is utility. Utility is the satisfaction that consumers get from consuming goods and services. Consumers try to maximize their utility by buying goods and services that give them the most satisfaction. For example, let's say that a consumer has $10 to spend on apples and oranges. The consumer gets 10 units of utility from each apple and 5 units of utility from each orange. The consumer will maximize their utility by buying 4 apples and 2 oranges. Production and cost. Production is the process of turning inputs into outputs. Cost is the amount of money that producers have to spend to produce a good or service. The cost of producing a good or service is determined by the factors of production, which are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. The factors of production are scarce, so producers have to make decisions about how to use them efficiently. For example, let's say that a producer wants to produce 100 apples. The producer has to use land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship to produce the apples. The producer can use different combinations of the factors of production to produce the apples, but each combination will have a different cost. The producer will choose the combination of factors of production that has the lowest cost. In this case, the producer will use 1 acre of land, 10 workers, $100 of capital, and $10 of entrepreneurship to produce the 100 apples. Market structure. Market structure refers to the number of firms in a market and the degree of competition between them. There are 4 main types of market structure: perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Perfect competition is a market structure in which there are many firms, all of which produce identical products. In a perfectly competitive market, firms have no control over the price of their products. A monopoly is a market structure in which there is only one firm. In a monopoly, the firm has complete control over the price of its product. Monopolistic competition is a market structure in which there are many firms, all of which produce slightly different products. In a monopolistically competitive market, firms have some control over the price of their products. Oligopoly is a market structure in which there are a few firms. In an oligopoly, firms have some control over the price of their products, but they are also interdependent on each other's actions. Conclusion. Microeconomics is a complex and fascinating subject. It provides us with insights into how individuals and businesses make decisions, and how these decisions affect the prices of goods and services. Microeconomics is an essential tool for understanding the economy and making informed decisions about economic policy.